I started coaching my very first year. I was 24. I was coaching down in when I lived in Arkansas. I started my first year coaching junior high track for Andy Camp Junior High School in Jonesboro, Arkansas. After that, I got into coaching little kids football down there as well during the fall. And that's when I guess I want to say I found my calling when it came to football coaching. Because after there, my first year I went coaching. I went 3-4. I think that was the only season that I've had since I've coached that I've had a losing season and everything. Let me see. The next year after that, I took my team to the championship game. We lost in the championship game. It was a heartbreaker too. I want to say the next 2 years after that, my team made it to the championship as well. Or no, the year after that, we made it to the semifinals and lost. And then my last year coaching before I moved to Texas, we went to the championship game in that one. And I couldn't be there for that game. And I don't know, I blame it on that one every day that we lost that game because I wasn't there. But yeah, I called the guys and, the guys were just crying. They was like, Coach, we lost. And I was like, man, I mean, I know how hard you guys worked for this and everything, but and it always breaks my heart to see my players, cry, because I've seen what they worked hard for and everything, and it's right there in their fingertips, and it just falls through. After that, I took a break from coaching. After that, I got back into playing football down in Texas for a few teams, the Denton County Rhinos and the Dallas Trojans. Actually won a national championship in semi-pro football with the Dallas Trojans. After that, I moved to Wisconsin and got back into coaching and started coaching at Black River Falls High School. I was the defensive back coach there in my first year. I was the defensive back and the quarterback coach there. Then my second year, I was the receiver coach, the defensive back coach, and part-time quarterback coach as well. Then I got into my first year coaching semi-pro football last year with the Bandits, and it turned out to be a pretty good season. I was kind of nervous at first. My goal was every coach goal is to always go into the season, try to win the championship and everything. But my goal, I set like a small goals for myself and everything. And the one goal that I had was to just finishing the season, if not first or second or in the division. And, we ended up second in the division, and we ended up, with a winning record. We matched the total losses that we had from the very first year that we came about. And I want to say we won 4 more than we did the first year. So we ended the season with a 6-4 record and everything, with the first round exit out of the playoffs and everything. But I just gotta say I was really proud of the guys and everything, and the teams that we lost to. Just except for that Mad Dogs game, the game that we lost, that one right there. Besides that one was the only one that I feel like we should have won that one. And everything. It came down to the wire, 12-6 game and everything. So it's a lot of emotion going into this game tomorrow with this team and stuff. So, but I want to say, is that like the Rough Riders, that one right there, losing to them twice. I mean, if you look at it, they had a phenomenal team, last year and everything. And, losing to them, if you look at it, it's kind of a good thing. The only losses that we had, minus the Mad Dogs game, was to teams that's won this league championship, before. So it's a pretty, good, starting point, for the Bandits.
We're talking to Marshall Bandits head coach Roosevelt Johnson. Marshall Bandits football on Zaleski Sports is sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. choose your next new adventure with the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Find the recruiting office in Marshfield. Coach, you talked about last year a little bit. Let's just put a bow on last year. I think one of the things you said that kind of sparked my ear a little bit was that you weren't, maybe a little bit nervous at first and maybe not sure how it was going to go. At what point during the season did you realize, this is a good fit? I like being a Marshfield Bandit.
I want to say it was it may sound bad, but I don't think so. But I want to say it was game 2 into the season, not game 2 of the game that we had, but game 2 into the season. And that's when it kind of was like the nerves kind of settled down and everything. And I actually was able to get, full swing, motion into my coaching atmosphere and everything.
Before we talk about this year, tell us a little bit more about, kind of philosophy in coaching a team like this. You probably watch a lot of college football. We got the NFL draft going on now, so the NFL is topical again. How much inspiration do you get from, watching collegiate football or even NFL teams?
A lot, actually. My favorite college team is Texas Longhorns. Hook 'em horns. Just watching the coaches that came through there that they've had and everything, and the one that they've had that they got now, Steve Sarkisian. I've watched him, his coaching style from when he was at USC, when he was at Alabama as well, and just some of the smaller stops that he's had over the years, and even Tom Herman when he was there and everything. Just those guys, just looking at them and just looking at the defensive coordinators that they bring in and stuff, and just looking at the defensive style, how they run their defenses and everything. And I wouldn't say I kind of mirror it off of it and everything. It's more so it just gives me that, that fire to hey, I want to see myself one day, in a Texas Longhorn coaching shirt or something like that. That's the biggest dream, that I have. It was as a player, but that dream's gone. Now I can still get there as a coach. So that's my ultimate goal, is to get there, eventually. But starting off small and, just going from there and just getting my, just feet in the door, just to go from there, really.
You mentioned every year the goal is win a championship. Championship teams are one unit. They play together, they walk together, they talk together. They're one unit. And that's Pee Wee, high school, college, all the way on up. And your team is no different. Every year there's some new faces. You got to blend in with the guys that are currently there. How do you go about that kind of process of getting everybody together?
The process that I did, with far as getting this team together and everything was, I went out and got a bunch of a lot of younger guys and everything. Our team, averages 19 to 23, players, age-wise on players. With those guys, you get a bunch of younger guys, and then you get a bunch of older guys. You got to find some way to bridge that gap, between the generations of playing styles and, the way every player has played the game of football and everything. So basically, I use myself as that bridge to I feel like I'm still part of the older crew, but I still feel like I'm still part of the younger crew as well, because I'm only 33. So, I still feel like I'm in that middle range to bring these guys together. And I really feel like that the guys that I have this year, adding, continuing from the guys that we had from last year that came back this year and adding a bunch of new faces and everything. I feel like, I found that core, group of guys to take this team to go forward, where it needs to be.
You can't win a championship without winning a couple games along the way. Every game is one step at a time. You mentioned the Mad Dogs already. Home opener on Saturday. What do you have in mind? What are we looking for on Saturday as the Bandits take the field against the Mad Dogs?
Honestly, a very competitive game. The game that we had against them last year, it was a very defensive game and everything. Both of the offenses struggled in that game. Their offense, just made a few more key plays than we did and everything. But I want to say, the guys that we have, a lot of those guys that we have on the team this year was on that team, from last year, that was ready for that game 2 against them, but that never happened. And so when them guys, when I told them, hey, we got them first game of the season, like them guys was like fired up and they was ready and stuff. So I feel like, those guys are going to come out hungry tomorrow, and I feel like it's going to be a really, really good game.
There we go. All right, Austin, second year with the team. Why back this year? What's good about the Bandits?
What's good about the Bandits is we're a great brand of brothers. We had a great thing going. We finished strong last year, just looking to improve upon that and come back with guys I'm familiar with.
Got a couple practices left, preseason game. What are some of the goals for that first preseason game?
Definitely goal for me is just to go out there, execute the playbook well, make sure I can show coach what I can do, and hopefully come out with a dub still a good game.
You talked about improvement from last year, coming into this year. Last year, a playoff team.
Yep.
What are some of the goals beyond that this year?
Definitely not get knocked out in the first round playoffs. Definitely make it farther. The ultimate goal is to get a ring.
Yeah. So, Toby, tell us about the Marshall Bandits this year.
Bandits, we do have a lot of return players, especially on defense. Our offense is a little bit new. We have some return players, but it's going to be a little bit different of a look. Run different offense this year. Hopefully we will be able to do more offensive scoring than we did last year. So that's the hope.
Tell us about what's new for you this year. What should fans expect out of Toby this year?
I am no longer running deep routes. I will be quarterback, hopefully throwing the deep routes. And yeah.
You talk about offense, trying to put some more points on the board this year. Defense was pretty solid last year. What do you talk about with your defensive teammates to keep that work up going into the season?
Honestly, I don't talk to the defensive players that much, primarily because they know what they're doing. They had a really solid run. In all honesty, they carried the team last year, and they were the reason why we got to the playoffs at the end of the day. And with all the players returning, it's looking to be the same. So this will be we'll rely on the defense, just hopefully not as much as we had to last year.
Let's talk about expectations for this year, because last year it was different, coming off an inaugural season. In a lot of ways, anything was going to be better than that first year just because of an inaugural season. Now, some extra pressure on you in the team. Everybody else in the league knows what you're capable of. Tell us about the expectations, knowing all of those things.
I think the pressure and the expectations are the same as last year. We have the same goals last year, which is getting a ring, winning a championship. So that is still the goal. That will always be the goal. But as Austin said previously, we will make the playoffs, and we're looking to get past the first round. But at the end of the day, our goal is winning the championship.
Once upon a time, Allen Iverson told us about practice. You got the game, though, on Saturday. So tell us, what are some things you and your offensive guys want to get figured out during that game on Saturday?
This will be our first official test of the new offensive scheme. We have a lot of new players, like we said, so this is really going to be a test of how well we have memorized the playbook, how well we have practiced. Just as everyone says, how you practice is how you play. So our practices, they have been miserable because of the weather and the field and running in muck. So it sounds like it's going to be cold the first game, so we are prepared for that for sure. But some nice weather would be nice, and just working on our offense, making it smooth and so on.
Singled to his right, and the give to Featherston. Featherston up the middle, and is in for the touchdown. Jackson Ott, and Ott is on the move down the far side. Ott needs a block and gets it, and it's a house call for Jackson Ott, a pick 6